Say alright, so first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakakodash. We say that my apostles and elders agree with on our teachers, our apostles in the truth, and we say salutations, holy Akamosai, pushing the truth, and say, Din and the out, canceling season, we say, Shalom. Then once again, going into that video, and it's basically touching upon this news article here. As you can see, it's a global rice shortage possible in 2023, prices expected to remain high. Now, with this article, as you can see on top, it says 2008 global rice crisis, and you know what happened in 2008. Now, with things getting worse, things getting worse and way worse. And again, all these things that are happening in our prophecies, right? These shortages will go into what we considered famines. So it's a global rice shortage is set to be the biggest in 20 years, right? So you see how bad it is. Now, when you go into the article here, it's a global rice shortage is set to be the biggest in 20 years. Let's say from China to the US to the European Union, rice production is fallen and driving up prices for more than 3.5 billion people across the globe, particularly in Asia Pacific. The global rice market is set to log its largest shortfall in 2 decades in 2023, according to Fitch Solutions. And a deficit of this magnitude for one of the world's most cultivated grains will hurt major importers, analysts told CNBC. At a global level, the most evident impact of global rice deficit has been and still is decade high rice prices. Now, as you can see, what's going on in the world, um, we're seeing so much like stuff, the shortages of stuff, and we're seeing the increase of that particular item that's being shortage. You see how inflation is skyrocketing, right? And we're seeing goods that we used to once pay small money for. We're seeing it on a high increase right now, to the fact where, hey, before well, I could speak for the country here, that you could have go into the grocery with 500 and come out with a cart of goods. Now, if you go with 500, you only come out with 3 items. That is how bad it is. And you're hearing people complaining and talking about this, and again, it's only going to get worse. Right? It says rice prices are expected to remain notch around current highs until 2024, stated a report by Fitch Solutions, Country Risk and Industry Research dated, right? So let's jump to the script here. This is Matthew chapter 24. I'll go to verse I'll go to verse start from verse 6 and say, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And just like many other videos that did before, the scripture say, well, for all these things must come to pass. You know that some people believe that the things that are written are not going to happen, but day by day, month by month, week by week, year by year, you see the things that are written happening, that are taking place. So as scripture say, all these things must come to pass. So there's no gain or wrong it. We're seeing signs in the sky. We're seeing prophecies that were written played out. We're seeing everything happening. The things that you all once didn't believe in, and saying that it will never happen, it is happening. Right? It say for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. It say all these are the beginning of sorrows. So it say for nation shall rise against nation, we've seen that, and kingdom against kingdom, we've seen that, and there shall be famines and pestilences. Famines is scarcity of something, and particularly food. This is what we're seeing. It say given that rice is the staple food commodity across multiple markets in Asia, prices are a major determinant of food price inflation and food security, particularly for the poorest household. Now, again, rice is something that you could address even in the Caribbean, not only Asia, but majority of the world, they eat rice, especially in the Caribbean. They love rice because one of the easiest things you could go in the grocery, pick up, and you could cook. In many ways, you could do something with that rice, and it's cheap. Now you're seeing that cheap product that it's skyrocketing in price. you know right? It's a given that rice is a staple food commodity across multiple markets in Asia. Prices are a major determinant of food price inflation and food security, particularly for the poorest household and food security. And again, this is how they know things are getting bad. It's called food security. You understand? So people can at least have food. They're securing the food. But no, that is a risk. That at risk. You know? All these things are what? For all these things must come to pass. As it say here, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are the beginning of sorrows. For all these things are the beginning of sorrows. You used to be talking about food security. That means that means it bad, right? They say the global shortfall of 2022-2023 would come in at 8.7 million tons. The report forecast that would mark the largest global rice deficit since 2003-2004, when the global rice markets generated a deficit of 18.6 million tons, said hard. It says strained rice supplies. There's a short supply of rice as a result of an ongoing war in Ukraine, as well as bad weather in rice producing economies like China and Pakistan. And then we know some of these countries, like I believe in Pakistan, one of those places was going through turmoil. You know, there was I believe in one of them places they was using food to trade for other goods, and like using stuff that they would use on plants as trade to get food. You understand? There's a short supply of rice as a result of the ongoing war in Ukraine. Famine is what? The scarcity of something, the shortage of something. The Lord warned us about famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are beginning of sorrows. So yeah, famines are a serious thing. You understand? You see what's going on. And this again, rice is just like such a basic food. It's like a necessity in a household. No matter what household you go in, you'll see rice because it's the easiest. If you feed to cook and you have no money, you have rice. You fry up the rice and some egg. You know, you could boil up the rice with some cabbage and spinach and so forth, and you get food quick as that. But now we're seeing a shortage of that. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15 verse 5. It said, "Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." Again, all these things must come to pass. And the Lord telling you, He'll bring upon this world what? Famine. And that's what we're seeing. You understand? The shortages of stuff. You know? Scarcity of stuff. So you see where it is taking place. And again, I remember doing a video about I think about a year and a half ago, where it was basically going to a news article warning people about the shortages of food to come. You understand? Was mentioning them like rice, flour, and all this other stuff. Like again, those things are like basic stuff that like you can literally anything you can do with flour. You can make and we just make roti, make a bread, make a bake, dumpling, all this other stuff, and these are the things that they're seeing shortages on. Say global rice shortage possible in 2023. Prices are expected to remain high, analysts say. Right? It say, "For behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death and destruction, for wickedness and exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." That is what we're seeing. You understand? So prepare. So prepare to go into your groceries, your markets, your mini marts, and when you go on the shelves, you wouldn't be seeing rice. Or when you do see rice, you would see your rice like $100 and more. You understand? And again, it have many other products like when you go into the groceries, you're not seeing that particular product no more. Or if you do see it, the prices like skyrocket because of a shortage of goods worldwide. So why is there a rice shortage? Say bad weather in rice producing regions around the world led to the drop in rice production. And again, we now read where it is talking about the war as well, right? It's 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 18. It said the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when this evil shall come? And they talk about evils. Okay, you know what is going to happen when men can't get food? Or when certain things like these chaotic stuff that happen, you know what going to take place? Evils. And all the things we don't mention is evil. So it mentioned at the beginning of famine and great death, starvation, hunger. And you see what's going on with jobs worldwide. It already, you see how much are these big companies closing down or they're getting rid of thousands of workers. And other companies are not hiring back. They're not hiring nobody. So what shall I do when this evil shall come? He said, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. You know, so all these things are sent. So famine, all these things that take place. And this is again, rice is such a it's such a basic item, but it's such a item that everybody would have. Now we have a shortage of it. Lack of jobs. How you want to buy stuff when inflation hit? So you're seeing what is going to take place. You know? You're seeing what is going to happen. So with that, once again I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yoshai, Ba'Shem Rakakodash. We say that when the apostle and elders agreements and everybody our teachers our apostles in the truth, and we say salutations, so they are constantly pushing the truth and say, day and day out, considering season and season, we say, Shalom.